Yeah.
Bernard, lovely to see you.
And lovely to see the book, Ethics in Child Health, Principles and Cases in Neurodisability. That's been a good experience.
It's a wonderful experience, and one from which we learned a great deal. The exercise involved both adapting and adopting chapters that people sent to us, and making decisions about some chapters that just didn't fit. And that challenge allowed us to clarify what we were looking for.
The combination of authors was very interesting, but so was the combination of editors, I think.
Indeed. The experience of having a professional ethicist, Racine, who read all the chapters, commented on all of them, offered us as editors feedback, offered feedback to the authors. That was very helpful. And of course, Jennifer Johannesen is a parent who happens, unrelated to our efforts, to have just completed a master's degree in ethics. So she brought a parent's perspective to the issues, a parent who sadly had a very great deal of experience with a very impaired child.
Mm-hmm. So the way we did it was, first we asked potential authors what their concerns were. What are their everyday questions relating to ethical issues, but also to good practice? And we found that the border between good practice and ethics is very thin, but should be looked at very carefully.
And in fact, we recognize that it's not only thin, they overlap considerably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And part of our realization is that what we're calling everyday issues are in fact issues that include good practice, but are generally not thought about with an ethical lens. So what we want to make clear to people is that we haven't invented or discovered a new dimension of clinical practice that other people weren't aware of. What we've simply done is to shine the light of an ethics framework onto those issues, with the challenge then for people to consider those issues both clinically and as ethical dilemmas.
So this is not a mere collection of chapters. We identified, with the help of authors, a number of topics. We organized the topics, and we asked each group of authors to start from a clinical scenario.
That's right. That's right. And these were scenarios that we hoped and believed in most cases were real issues that they had faced. There's one other dimension of the book that's very important, and that is McKeith Press had our colleagues on the editorial board look at the book, and one of them was extremely imaginative in recognizing and reassorting the chapters from the original dimensions of how we'd set it out to the way it ended up in the book, and that was a very, very helpful contribution.
So we hope that the book can be helpful to a lot of different people, to professionals, but also to students.
Absolutely. And the idea that was in fact Ronen's idea, to have a few issues for future discussion at the end of each chapter, those are simply ideas that we hope will be prompts for people to use for teaching, use for journal clubs, use for self-reflection.
Yeah, need to work on volume 2 now.
Well, we have the interesting challenge of thinking about what the afterlife of this book will be. And I think that is still a wide open question. Whether it's a second edition or whether we accumulate further cases, potentially online, we'll have to see, among other things, what our readers say.
Yeah, but before the afterlife, let's see how it fares. This is the first day it's out, and we're really happy.
Thank you very much for listening, and we hope you'll find the book interesting.